This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
A report that came out last night is that another 2 weeks of spring training has been taken out. So you're not going to see the first spring training game. You can't see it until March 18th, the earliest.
Nick Morgeson.
This was a PR stunt Monday night. We knew they were never going to come to a deal. This was MLB trying to get out front, sending their PR lackeys, as Nick would say, to say, oh, we're close to a deal.
And Nick Federa.
He's done a lot of the same amounts of damage that Bud Selig has done to the league in a shorter amount of time than it took Bud to do.
Empty the Bench starts now.
And the Leprechauns will march single file out of my ass.
Well then.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. And by the way, I didn't know leprechauns came out of your ass, Nick.
Among other things, yeah.
Welcome to Empty the Bench, episode 125, presented by NAC. That's Nick Federa. That's Tom Albano. I'm Nick Morgeson. Yes, you did hear a sponsor there. We'll get to that story in a second. But we have a lot to get to. We will get to it. And by the way, follow us on social media. Here we go. Follow us on social media at Empty the Bench, at ETB Sports. Follow us at ETB Network. Follow us across social media platforms. And Nick is holding a product in his hand, and so am I. Here we go.
So we are now sponsored by NAC Bags. Yes, Papa's have got a brand new bag, and it's brought to us by NAC. So here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about our brand new sponsor. By the way, thank you. Shout out to them for sponsoring us now. So
And gifting us these bags.
Yeah, very nice.
These bags, they're absolutely beautiful, endlessly adaptable for any situation. I mean, if you're going to ramble anywhere, you pretty much need a NAC bag.
And by the way, if you want to carry Rob Manfred skeletons, here's a perfect bag for it.
Actually, yeah. If you were keeping all your angry mob stuff in here, your pitchforks, your caltrops, anything else you were going to need to smash and grab, these also are very adaptable for those things. So make sure you put them in a NAC bag.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even give my own testimony. This week I started using this NAC bag rather than my old messenger bag for work, and honestly, I feel so much more comfortable. It's not just a weight I'm carrying on my arm. I actually feel I feel more comfortable traveling around with this. Whether you're using it for work or travel, this is a bag for you. If you are like me and you carry a lot of electronics, you can store them in. I mean, just look at the amount of pockets that you have in this thing. There's a safe space for your laptop. There's, all sorts of different compartments. If you're carrying food, if you're carrying books, NAC, whatever your lifestyle is, NAC has it for you while making you look really good while carrying it.
Exactly. You go from 14-year-old to wandering professional, and that we need that.
And by the way, if you want a great deal as well, this month, only for limited time, if you put in the discount code BENCH, yes, we have a discount code now. You can go and get a TSA approved lock for your bag, $15 value for free, along with buying a NAC bag. I swear it's a great deal. Go get it.
So here's what happens when you go to checkout. You make sure that you get the lock, and when you go to checkout, you enter the offer code BENCH, and then you automatically get the lock for free.
All right, spiel over. Now we can get back to the show. So, gentlemen,
You'll be constantly reminded as it's going down on the.
Exactly.
Right.
So thanks, NAC.
Thanks, NAC. So here we go. Right off the bat, and this is going behind the curtain a little bit, fellas. We originally had a different story as number one.
Yes, we did.
Because we thought we were still going to be sitting here with baseball in lockout mode. Tom was going to go be in the fetal position, still crying about baseball.
You were going to end up, just planting sorghum in a field in New Jersey somewhere.
By the way, I forgot to do one thing, and I can't find it. Oh, Nick, I was going to do this because you said leprechauns were coming flying out of your ass.
Well, we could do that for the St. Patrick's Day episode. The leprechauns might come out then. They're kind of scared. They don't really light that much. So, hey, you know what? By the way, we're also open to Guinness sponsoring us. So if you'd like to make the leprechauns in my ass happy,
Sorry, I had to get that out of the way. Anyway, but let's get back to what the bigger major story at hand is. And that will be that MLB and the MLBPA come to a deal for a full
162 game season for 2022. Now, the show was originally going to be different. We actually had to re-record the promo for the show twice. So that was a fun little sojourn. But look, I mean,
by the way, I think Tom got so excited he froze.
He froze, yeah. So, but while he fixes himself, I can say that I really didn't expect this to happen, because literally we recorded the promo talking about the fact that we're still in lockout, and less than 12 hours later, all of a sudden there was a deal. It's like there wasn't a deal within the span of an hour. There wasn't a deal, and now there is, and now free agency is upon us. But like I said during the live stream that we did, which by the way you should check out because the three of us did it along with our co-hosts and cohorts, Johnny Montalbano and Anthony Mara. Like I said then, and I'll make sure to repeat it just to make sure that nobody is nothing is misconstrued. This does not paper away this papers over the flaws, the systemic flaws.
This is tape.
That got the MLB to this place.
Wait a minute. This is tape and glue sticks. This is not a permanent fix. Now, by the way, I think this is accurate for now.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Well, now all of a sudden, Tony Clark and Rob Manfred, they're frolicking in a field of flowers.
Wait a minute. Skipping and frolicking?
You're not going to stop, are you?
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, you got to let him, folks. You got to let him get it out of his system.
Well, I was sick for the last 3-4 days, so now I have all the energy to let out.
Yeah, he's still a little delirious. He's still a little cracked in the head. So, to be honest with you, folks, it is. I'm glad that baseball is back. Tom doesn't have to go on strike anymore. But like I said, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm glad that that they agreed to have baseball, and they did get some concessions. They did improve the conditions that the players were striking for somewhat, but it's still not as good as. It's still not equitable. It's still not quote unquote fair.
We didn't fix all the rules. Okay, so we're going to start with these dumb rules. We're going to have little league bases. So we're going to have half on, half off. It's like a bad version of tag. Hey, are you on the tree? No, I'm not. I can tag you. Guess what? Now we're going to have universal DH. I think that's better because no one wants to see the pitcher hit anymore. No,
it's not 1887 anymore.
No, because and Anthony, who brought it up on our stream, well, what about the CC Sabathias or people like that? And I'm like, who cares?
They are a rare breed anyway. Plus, you do not, with the way that pitchers are getting paid and the way that they are getting absolutely catered to, because you want to maximize every single inning that these guys throw.
We don't want a Chin Ming Wong situation.
Yeah, you don't want a Chin Ming Wong situation. You want to be able to have them at the top of their game physically. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and by the way, the designated hitter just makes the game better from an offensive standpoint, and you don't have an automatic out 90% of the time.
And what about the strategy? Look, you're not playing chess here. This is not a game of Stratego, okay? You're playing a children's game. You shouldn't have to do mind games in order to win.
And by the way, this double switch nonsense that we had to do for all these years in National League.
Maybe it's because I'm biased because I'm a fan of an American League team. But the double switch always seemed kind of stupid to me.
Of course it is, because you have to move the pitcher to a different spot so they don't come up right away.
And during the stream, Anthony was like, "Well, it's strategy. It's like." And you ask him to, which by the way, thanks Anthony for coming on. But everybody who tries to explain these things that existed in the NL to an AL, fan, and it makes less and less sense the more you hear it.
the clown show that is the Mets organization, and I said this on the stream, Max Scherzer, Francisco Lindor, and all the other players, Garrett Cole, who's the reliever that used to be on the Yankees. He's also the lefty reliever. He was also in the executive board.
Andrew Miller.
All of the executive board voted 8-0 against the CBA. The rest of the players were the ones who ratified the deal.
And look, I mean, we're not in the business of throwing around the blame game anymore. We just got through that. So we're not going to just sit here and say, "Oh, well, you should have gotten more." I'm look, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what we've got. However, like I said, baseball does not become automatically fair with the wave of a magic wand. This doesn't fix those problems, and it doesn't stop other problems from popping up.
We have other issues, which are now what's next? We're going to draw a white box on the infield for the illegal shift. Are we going to call it illegal shifts, and that's how a game is going to be lost?
Probably. If I had a guess, that's probably what they would try to do.
And is it going to be like the batter's box where the players like scratch out the lines so that you can't see exactly where the line is on the infield? Unless you make it a permanent spot on each outfield draw line that's permanent.
Look,
this is all stupid.
By the way, they didn't agree to outlaw the shift, did they?
Yes, it's for next year.
Oh, so it won't be this year, it'll be next year.
2023, officially the shift will be illegal. But we talked about this on the stream, and it's very important. Learn how to hit the ball the other way. Learn how to punt. Learn how to punt.
You wouldn't have to worry about the shift if you, like I said, hit the ball the other way, or you know what? Aim for the fences.
I'm going to criticize somebody.
Can't catch a home run ball.
I'm going to criticize somebody that you and I know well as a Yankee fan that would constantly pull the baseball. And I think you know where I'm going here. It's a certain first baseman that we've known over the years. Mark Teixeira.
No, Mark Teixeira was a first baseman.
That's what I said, first baseman.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said third baseman.
No, certain first baseman certain lefty switch hitter first baseman that we know too well. Mark Teixeira, who constantly said, my job was to hit over the shift. How about you just hit the other way?
You know, it's funny because him being on the Yankees was the first time that I was introduced to the concept of the shift, because the shift, when he first joined the Yankees in 2009,
that's not true.
It wasn't really a thing, a strategic thing that a manager would deploy.
Wait a minute.
The only time I would see the shift is when he would come up.
No, the first time
you see them shift. You see them move way the fuck over to the other side of the infield.
I think we got him back here. Let's see if we got him back. Hello. Can you hear us, Tom? He's frozen again. Okay.
Power surge, folks.
Yeah. All right. We'll put him back down again over here. Wait for him to come back. But I was saying David Ortiz was really the first time we saw it.
Yeah. I mean, you could make that argument, but how exactly are you going to enforce these things? Are you going to actually get an umpire to go, hey, move back over there? What are you going to do? You're going to shoot the ground and go, dance.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay. No, we're now talking about the shift, Tom, about in the rules in the MLBPA of how they're getting ready to make the banning of the shift illegal starting in 2023. What do you think about that?
And how are you going to enforce that? By shooting the ground like a Western and go, dance?
I don't know. I honestly don't know why they're even doing this. I get why, but baseball is about creativity. Part of baseball is creativity. The fact that we actually have to ban something
seems kind of counterproductive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just said to Nick, and Tom, I'll ask you the same question.
What?
You're going to draw a white box of some sort in the infield. Are the umpires going to call an illegal shift, and that's how a team is going to lose the game and allow a run to score because they were outside?
Well, what is the penalty? What's the penalty for the shift?
What's the penalty? So if you catch a ball in the teeth of the shift, Does that mean, hey, award the guy a base?
I think I think first of all they have to clarify that the shift only counts from the starting position of when the pitch is thrown. That's what they got to determine. So because I know with the batter's box, I was telling Nick this as well, they're just going to scratch the line out like they do with the batter's box.
There's no way to tell. I mean, off the bat, if you hit something really into the teeth of the shift, you wouldn't be able to tell if it's a single or a double because it really depends on how the ball is fielded. If it's a double hit on the ground, right?
Right.
So if you're outlawing the shift, does that mean that every ball, even the hard hit ones, hit into the teeth of the shift, are automatically singles?
I'm taking a guess that basically the umpire is going to have the right to say no, you got to go back.
I guess they could also say before the play, like, hey, you're too far. You got to move back to a normal position.
Basically.
Unless they allow a warning of some sort. I don't know.
The other thing is, and we didn't really get a chance to discuss it because we were expecting during the live stream for there to be a free agency deluge. And we thought we would at least have some more things to talk about regarding free agency on today's show, but as it turns out, it hasn't really happened yet.
This is not the NBA or the NFL where everything happens in 6 minutes after.
And we all thought it was. We all thought it was because every single pundit, let me say, has been saying, "Oh, it's gonna be crazy. Everybody's gonna be falling left and right. They're ready to make their deals, and it hasn't happened."
Well, Tom, let's go back to you for a second. What do you think now with officially the deal being done? Instant reaction now with the deal being done.
I mean, nothing that I didn't already say on Thursday's stream and nothing that I didn't already say in my minute this morning. That, as a baseball fan, I'm very happy, but
it's not free and
I
equal,
have 162
right?
game. What happened?
It's not automatically equal. You didn't fix all the problems here. You just
right. As a fan, I still have some lapses, and some of these rule changes, I think even worse than the banning of the shift. I mean, the pitch clock. So here's the thing about the pitch clock. So it's 14 seconds when there's nobody on base, 19 when there is on base. So when does the pitch clock start? Is it when the pitcher does this? Is it when the pitcher gets the ball back? Because if it's when the pitcher gets the ball back, that's not a lot of time.
It's got to be on pitcher set, I would think.
It's on pitcher set, right?
So is there a guy dressed in old conductor's clothes with a stopwatch?
I wouldn't even say this. I didn't even mean on this. Like I mean like this when the ball is behind them and their foot is on the ball.
Every pitcher has a different delivery, so it's different for every pitcher.
They were testing this, I think, that you have to be on rubber. That's when it's considered start. If you're disengaged from the rubber, you can't do anything until.
So I guess the enforcement of it is going to be as vague as what we consider a balk and not a balk, right?
Now, if you are purposely walking around the mound, the umpire will probably have discretion to say, "Hey, you're taking too long." Probably, but
or what are they going to do? Are they going to say, "Hey, you're taking too long. Take first base"?
Well, they can't do that. They can. It'll be a ball each time it doesn't. Either the time limit runs out, or
is that what they actually said?
I'm not sure. That's why I think.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't know if you guys noticed, but technically by the rules of baseball, if a batter is taking too long and stepping outside the batter's box, they can technically call a strike.
They can throw the pitch too.
Yep.
You can count a pitch he didn't throw as a strike. Is that what you mean?
You're taking too long.
You can either do that, or they can just throw the pitch, and if it's a strike, it's a strike.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these rules are so childish in some regard, like the base.
I was going to say the size of the bases.
All because they're
playing exhibition softball.
They think they're afraid of hamstring injuries. Wait a minute! I told you this stupid thing. They're afraid of hamstring injuries, and that's why they're making
like a 3-week spring training isn't going to be an effect of that.
I'm not disagreeing with.
That's exactly it, though.
Wait a minute. Wait a second. You just actually brought up a good point. The PR nightmare that from the other day, where they said, all right, we can't come to a deal. We're officially canceled until April 14th. And now all of a sudden, we're playing a 162 game season?
It turns out when they canceled it, they had their fingers crossed behind their back.
Well,
so,
that's my thing. Like everything is roses, and it's everybody is so happy, rose-colored glasses. And then once the injuries start to pile up, you're gonna see the MLBPA put out statements talking about how because there was a shortened spring training, that basically that's the result of all these injuries. Even though you could have worked out a deal, say in December or in January, to avoid all this.
I mean,
the relationship between the MLB and the MLBPA went from divorced couple to middle-aged couple at a wedding trying to hide the fact that they hate each other.
Nick.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Nope.
And actually, I got one better.
Congratulations, Dickweed.
Because congratulations, you finally made a deal. It only took 99 days.
And literally, that was the span of time it took. And the fact that they're trying to, hey, we didn't mean it. Do you still love us? I mean, do you think, and I'm not being facetious here, I'm genuinely asking, do you know anybody else that would have gone a step further than you did, Tom, where you said, I don't care. If baseball comes back, I'm not watching. They lost me for good.
Well, first of all, I said they lost me for the season, not they lost me for good. But I think there are people who would say that they would be lost for good.
Well,
you're saying that like there aren't people now. You're saying that like there aren't people who continue to turn away from baseball when they keep making these rule changes and such. And again, it goes back to what I said on Thursday. I think I've even said this time and time again before Thursday. I don't know who baseball is trying to get at, because every time they're trying to get to the younger generation, all these different rule changes, one, they don't work, because two, the younger people don't have the same attention span that it requires in the sport. Three, the older fans keep getting pissed off when you're changing all these things, especially when you're doing things like the pitch clock, like the larger bases. Number four, I mean, hang on, I need a minute.
Because look, I mean, let me at least try to understand from it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. But still, it's hard to have any sympathy because everything that people had told them for years you need to do in order to grow the game, they ignored.
Okay, well, here's my thing. This is where I was going to go from before. Guys, football has a lot of dead time in it too.
Yeah, it does.
People don't turn away from that.
No. And by the way,
I think that's because of number 5, and it's what I said on Thursday. You know, all these different little rule changes that you want to make the sport more exciting, that you want less pitchers' duels and you want more slugfests. You want home runs, you want stolen bases. I don't think you would need all of that if, I don't know, let's say you actually marketed your players like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani and Fernando Tatis Jr. in a more respectable manner.
And especially your pitchers, too.
I was going to say 99 days and a man fraud isn't one. But basically, I would say...
They love it. Look, the league proper loves it when an ace goes out there and gets lit up.
No, they don't.
Ace going out. Again,
That's not good for baseball.
They think it is because, look, he just said they would rather... Their thinking is they don't want pitchers' duels anymore. They want slugfest.
No, but...
So if it's two aces... They're happy if one of them gets lit up.
No, but here's the problem. When you have dumbass deals like Apple, which are getting a Friday night exclusive doubleheader, you have Peacock, which are going to have games starting at 11:30 a.m., which people are not going to watch. This is why baseball's trying to change all its rules. This is why baseball's going Little League bases. This is why baseball's trying to put a shift into play. What's next? Let's put trampolines in the outfield while we're at it.
You know, no, not trampolines. Moon shoes. Moon shoes. Like we had in gym class.
You know what? Let's get moonbound sneakers. How about that?
Let's just make it backyard baseball. Let's bring backyard baseball to life.
You know what? It's like, it reminds me of a game on, I'm about to really date myself and feel old, on N64. Do you remember a game called Mario Tennis?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I played Mario Tennis to death.
How about the Mario baseball games for the GameCube?
Well,
yeah.
The reason I bring up Mario Tennis is because if you couldn't reach the baseball, the tennis ball what would happen that you could press that would allow you to reach the baseball?
You could you could use
A power up.
To boomerang it to back towards you and then over the net.
Or if it's right in front of you, Mario would use a hammer and smash it all the way across the other side. What's next? Is baseball just going to allow power-ups like automatic home run? There we go. I win.
No, they'll just move the
bat in the middle of the field. First one to get to it wins.
No, they'll just move the infield walls. They'll just move the outfield walls closer, so that way any home run that anything that would have counted in the celebrity softball all-star game as a home run would be a major league home run now.
By the way, speaking of all-star festivities, they also made that part of the deal. No longer will there be extra innings in the all-star game. It'll be determined by a home run derby.
What?
So
you didn't see that? You didn't see that?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
No.
It came out as part of the CBA agreement.
So let me get this straight. No, hang on. Let me get this straight. So, the home run derby, which we already have a problem with, which I remember we had a problem with last year when you have all these different all-stars say, no, we're not going to participate. Because
even for $1 million. Even for $1 million.
Because it fucks up our swing, and we want to make sure that our swings are still intact as our teams are trying to make a postseason run. Basically, the All-Star game, if after 9 innings there's a tie, baseball is going to say, no, fuck you, get up there and hit home runs.
Yep.
It sounds stupid when you say it, doesn't it?
That's my point, though.
That's exactly. I'm being sarcastic.
And you know what?
It sounds like a dumb fucking idea because it is a dumb fucking idea.
You know what? I can't believe it took this long, but
you know what? That's like in the middle of a court debate. You just have a dance off to settle it.
By the way, 27 minutes and it took us that long to get to the curb music. Damn.
Yeah. There's only one way to settle this: tackle fight.
Oh God.
No.
No. No. Well, we'll get to a story about that. We'll get to a story about that in a little while. But all I know is baseball is driving us nuts.
It is. It really is.
It's like this. It's like this. I love you. I'm glad you're back, but goddamn, do you still manage to piss us off?
Well, I'm going to go on to our next little topic here, and that includes Trevor Bauer.
And you thought we were finished with him, didn't you?
So it was announced, I think, a couple days ago.
We broke Tom.
Trevor Bauer placed on the administrative leave for the first week of spring training. This was agreed upon by the players during the CBA agreement. First of all, I didn't know the players could agree for somebody else to be on the administrative leave list.
Yeah, so I guess they were all huddling in a room together. Okay, how much is Trevor Bauer, Dick?
I guess they're all tired of his shit.
Yeah, okay. So how tired of his shit are we?
Wait a minute. So we actually got a Christmas gift out of this?
I mean, kinda, because again,
so let
it's
me
still
explain.
Administrative leave.
Yeah, so let me explain. So basically, he does not face criminal charges. He does not face the criminal charges. I think they determined that already while MLB was in lockout. However, MLB can still look at the matter, and even if he isn't found criminal liable or civilly liable, he can still face a suspension according to what the commissioner's office determines if it's warranted.
Wait a minute. It's Major League Baseball, not Rob Manfred. Okay? It's Major League Baseball.
Nick, when it's negative news story, it's Major League Baseball.
It is negative news.
When it's a positive news story,
it's Rob Manfred taking
that was the joke. That was the joke. I'm saying Major League Baseball.
I know.
Major League Baseball. Come on, Rob Manfred.
But Nick Federa said they're one and the same. I'm like, let me explain it again.
Exactly. They're one and the same unless when it's convenient. Then fuck them. I did it all myself.
By the way, what this tells me is that they obviously think he's guilty.
I mean, I think it's not necessarily that they think he's guilty. I think they're punishing him because you made us go through all this and we don't like you very much.
And by the way,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Who was the name of the guy again? Because I keep forgetting that.
Michael Duarte?
Michael Duarte, yeah.
Go check out the great interview these two guys did with Duarte from NBCLA, because he broke this down to a T in every way, shape, or form, right? Like, he literally...
Conveniently, another thing that, he kind of speculated was true. Trevor Bauer during the off season, also the locked out off season, also very conveniently exercised his option. I think he kind of knew he was in trouble if he was a free agent. So he basically just pulled the ripcord on his parachute. So he said, "You know what? I'll stay around."
You know what? I think I'm gonna plant my ass right on this chair. This chair right here.
I know, but I'm saying, and that's a problem for the Dodgers now, because now in order to get rid of him, it's what, $64 million over the next 2 years.
They're gonna be eating salary like Pac-Man if they want to get rid of him.
I was gonna say, it's Max Scherzer money. They should be used to this by now.
Yeah, but they don't have to. They don't have to eat it as a side with their hamburger. They're literally eating the money.
As I was conveniently saying before, the Mets are the clown show of this whole thing, because, again, their two players of the 8 were the ones that declined the deal, and somehow the players just said, F you, Mets, we're going to do what we want. F you, Steve Cohen, we're going to do what we want.
Which, I mean, if you've seen too much of Steve Cohen and his itchy Twitter fingers, is an understandable response to have.
I mean, he retweeted a tweet that said the MLBPA was only going to do a deal on their terms.
It's just, look, we know who he is at this point, right? We understand who he is and really what he's about. So none of it should be surprising to us in the least.
I mean, so how do we put a bow on this Trevor Bauer situation? Because it seems to never go away.
I mean,
it's good. He's gonna face a suspension.
How many games?
Probably maybe 15, 20 games.
That's not enough.
I'd say 50.
It's got
really.
You got to make it. You got to make him hurt in the wallet, as they say.
Well, that's the thing. If it's a lower suspension or no suspension at all, I think then it's going to be a very, very high fine. I think the fine goes down if he's facing a suspension like 56.
Wait a minute, but Tom, they have legal stability over how big the fine can be. I thought. I think they can only do up to $5 million or whatever.
Is that codified in the CBA though?
That's at least what it was in the last thing. I think that was the largest fine they could give, because that's what they gave the Astros owner.
They didn't touch it that it would be that much.
I didn't say it had to be the maximum fine.
No,
but they will.
If there's no suspension, it might be.
I think they should. In my opinion, he should be suspended for the year. But that's a whole different issue.
Again, I think it's not we're punishing you because you did something wrong. It's we're punishing you because you brought this down on us.
Well, I'll say there's another athlete in another sport we're going to talk about that is going to be in a very similar situation. But I can but Nick Morrison, I think the Dodgers are probably in agreement with you, hoping that he gets suspended for the years. That way they can make some sort of roster move.
You know what would be the funniest thing? And I know MLB and the Dodgers would somehow try to pull this off. They should pay him only for the every 5 days he starts, and every other day he should just lose his paychecks. Since technically it's a yearly contract, but he only starts every 5 days.
You could just stagger his contract to just give him $1 a day until it's paid off. Of course, it's going to take a couple hundred years for that to happen, but hey.
Well, Nick, that's always been the issue when you're replacing suspensions. Like, whenever there's a big brawl, that bench clearing brawl, that's always the issue between how long the pitcher and the batter are suspended, is because the pitcher, you technically only go every 5 days. So if they both get 10 games, technically the batter gets more because he plays every day.
Well,
that's always been an issue.
Well, you still get paid every day, even though you start every 5 days. So you technically, and I think you lose your service time regardless, also when you're suspended. So
fair. But people still have an issue with the playing time aspect.
Actually, you just reminded me of one more thing, and I want to go back to this one because I want to talk about something. I brought it up on the stream. Toronto. We talked about Toronto. We talked about the vaccine situation. That the rules are, if you're not vaccinated, you lose your service time and you're put on the reserved list. If you're not
vaccinated, go to Toronto,
you're not allowed in the country if you're not vaccinated.
Yeah. Well, I think that's Canada's issue. How Canada's handling the COVID thing, and baseball has to bow to it.
So are players going to be embarrassed enough to say, "Hey, I'm going to go get the vaccination because I don't want to be the idiot that doesn't show up for my team"?
Well, that's the thing. We're gonna, even if they conveniently say this, this player is going to have the day off, the series off, an injury, we're gonna know eventually.
Well, first of all, you couldn't say that because they're not going to be allowed in to start the series at all.
Right. No, I'm saying like we're going to end up knowing who is and isn't.
Because Judge was not vaccinated last year.
Well, they said he didn't say he was, but the team said all 90-something% of our players
he wasn't vaccinated.
So we're meant to assume that yes, he's part of that.
I'm tired of these percentages nonsense because what was it last year was it 2020 that they had to have like 80% of the party had to be vaccinated or whatnot to be allowed in or whatever? It was like,
I remember during the NFL season we got skeptical of those numbers late into the season.
Of course,
so maybe the same can be here in the MLB.
I'm seeing some news starting to trickle in from John Heyman. Nothing official, but John Heyman just said Yankees as of last night are still in on Freddie Freeman.
Apparently he loves it. He loves it. They love him, but apparently there's a geographical hurdle to clear.
I was gonna say for Freeman right now, it's down. As far as I know, it's down to Yankees, Dodgers, Braves.
I think he might end up in LA.
He might just go back to the Braves because why wouldn't the Braves pull out all the stops to keep him?
Because I read that they're cheaping out from what I read in the report.
You won the World Series and you're cheaping out. Oh my God! See, this is what I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
You are not fixing the problem.
Wait a second. Time out. I said this, I think 2 weeks ago now. Remember I brought up the story about how the Braves were $100 million plus in profit?
Because it's like Atlanta. Stop treating Atlanta like a small market. It's a major metropolitan city.
No. You know what happened? No, you know what happened during one of these during one of these meetings last year. I guess Braves management met Marlins management, and Braves were like, "Hey, teach us all of your tricks on how basically you burn everything down after winning the World Series."
No,
we all know you're great at greasing wheels. Now give us some of that wheel grease.
Wait, they talked to the Marlins, the Orioles, the Pirates.
No, but Nick, but the Marlins did it every time they won a World Series. Oops, we accidentally won the World Series.
Oops. Okay, time to take a sledgehammer to this goddamn.
Well, they could thank Steve Bartman also, but that's a whole different issue. But at the same time, I don't get this. The Braves are technically considered not major market; they're second tier market, which is still good.
But this goes back to what I said about when we were talking about the Angels with Trout 1A, 1B. It doesn't freaking matter. They're a major market still anyway.
By the way, every time you say...
If a major metropolitan city no longer counts as a major market, then I don't know what the fuck does at this point.
By the way, every time you say Artie Moreno, I think Nick gets a 1,000,000-volt shock.
God,
every time you say Artie Moreno, an Angel loses its wings.
Oh yes, I'm gonna keep using that. That's good. I'm actually gonna keep using that.
But this whole thing is stupid. Freddie Freeman should be back in an Atlanta uniform. To be quite honest, would I want him as a Yankee? Yes, but he should be back with the Braves.
Moving on.
All right, let's talk about. I can't believe we waited 40 minutes to talk about this. Russell Wilson is a Denver Bronco. What did I just say?
It's weird because it doesn't. It seems like an oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp or something else. I just don't get it.
Wait, can I say what I've been saying in every promo so far? It's a bucking Broncos situation. Okay? We're talking about a trade, which, by the way, Denver sold the kitchen sink plus.
Yeah, they gave up Drew
Yeah,
Lock.
I'm trying
How
to
many
hang on. I'm
draft
trying to
picks did
find the
they give up?
specifics.
I had the trade. I don't know where it is at the moment, but
Okay, you guys talk. I'll look for it.
So they gave up the farm for him, and this again. I mean, do you guys know if Denver actually had pieces, or was that just a talking point that just
Noah Fant.
Hang on.
and then they
hang on.
traded him?
Okay. So the full details. It's Wilson and a 2022 fourth to Denver. Seattle acquires Noah Fant, Drew Lock, the defensive lineman Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick.
It was essentially 12 for 2 is what I was told, what I remember.
Also, the keys to 3 of John Elway's Maseratis.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Congratulations, DK and Tyler Lockett. You now get balls thrown to you from Drew Lock.
Prepare for the Drew Lock experience. I know it's pretty much indistinguishable from painful dental surgery, but still.
I mean,
One more time, Nick.
what?
One more time.
I said it's
No.
pretty much.
No, I wanted Nick Borges. Okay, one more time, please.
What? Oh, that sound?
Yes. Give me that Ric Flair.
Oh, God.
But the thing I would say about this trade, first of all, Seattle is a bunch of fucking liars because they wanted him back. They said, oh my God, we want him back. He's our guy. He's going to stay here. And then all of a sudden, there's the trade.
They were blowing smoke. You didn't realize that?
Well, wait a minute.
Here's my question. Because we said Pete Carroll would not remain with this team if they're truly blowing it up. How the hell is Pete Carroll still here then? Or are they going to conveniently fire him at the end of the season once they inevitably get like a 3-14 or 4-13, whatever record?
You know why? Because
I
Pete
love
Carroll.
it when a plan comes together.
You know why? Because Pete Carroll is higher than the altitude in Denver.
Look, at this point, I just don't. First of all, you might as well, because you really think you're going to compete with Drew Lock?
No.
I'm pretty sure the words Drew Lock and compete have not been mentioned in a sentence together before I just did it.
No.
Okay, no. Before I get there, Nick, okay? If we're truly, then what are you doing with Tyler Lockett? What are you doing with DK Metcalf? What are you doing with Chris Carson? Because those guys aren't going to be happy.
They didn't sign up for this.
Wait a minute. You're leaving out one more thing as well. Bobby Wagner was released by the team as well.
Right.
And
but my point is these stars are not going to be happy.
And
you're going to see Seattle is going to be one of the most disgruntled places in the NFL this season.
By the way, Lock should stand for Chastity Lock because they're not going anywhere this coming season.
No one's having fun tonight.
They are fucked, but they're fucked in a different sense.
No, you're metaphorically. It's a chastity belt, so yeah. Now you're basically, you're metaphorically fucked.
Oh my God, what is going on here?
At a certain, it's just. Look, Noah Fant, you said was their best player, right?
Oh yes. On the other hand, Denver, congratulations. You got the quarterback that you've been dreaming of getting a star quarterback again after Peyton left. But really giving up somebody like Noah Fant, giving up all these first-round picks. You know what you've done? Listen, yes, Javonte Williams is a great running back, and maybe Melvin Gordon comes back, and there's your 1 and 2. You got Jerry Jeudy. You got Cortland Sutton. Tim Patrick is a boomer bust wide receiver 3. And you got Albert, I'll never be able to pronounce his last name, as the tight end now that Noah Fant is gone. So yes, you still have pieces. But you traded Von Miller away last season. This is a serious, Noah Fant was a much better prepared tight end. So what you've essentially done is you've said, hey, we're going to win in the next 3 seasons. And if we don't, we're fucked.
You know what? And I said this in the ETB Minute the other day. It's either going to pay off and it's going to win the Super Bowl, or it's going to be like a bad version of Castaways. Wilson!
You know what? They've succeeded at it before. Remember Peyton Manning?
Yes,
so they probably think that lightning strikes twice.
Yeah,
Yes.
but wait a minute. I think that team with Peyton Manning was way better than this team was
I
now.
agree.
Oh, no doubt.
I agree, and remember, and just because Denver's much improved in the quarterback position doesn't mean there aren't other competitors going on with. There aren't any other competitors. I mean, look at LA. Look at LA. OBJ is going to be back. Von Miller's going to look. They are in prime position for a possible repeat. The Rams.
Didn't they just get
every time one of us says that, it doesn't happen. So
wait? Who got Mac?
The Chargers. That's the Chargers, not the Rams.
Oh, by the way, LA is going to be sick. But anyway,
Justin Herbert and Khalil back. No, wait a minute. That means the Chargers have Khalil Mack and Bosa.
yes,
That's going to be the scariest
That is
defensive line
yes,
ever.
that is a horror movie defense.
by the way, any quarterback that's running from that defense, like just I'm running away. It's a bad version of Mark Sanchez in the butt fumble all over again.
Who's he going to throw to? Who's Russell Wilson going to throw to?
I mean, I don't know.
What do you think he's going to score 100 touchdowns this year, all running?
Well, I'm going to admit
his own best receiver. Because is that what you think it is?
I'm going to make this horrible transition because it has to do with the next story. But this is a huge gamble that the Broncos are taking.
Oh my God!
Of course. So Calvin Ridley, who is a member of the Falcons for the 2021 season, but basically left. I want to say halfway, maybe a little less than halfway through the year due to mental health reasons. Well, he has been suspended for the entire 2022 season. And why? For reportedly gambling on games during his time away.
So, am I the only one that thinks this is a tad hypocritical, considering that every other ad we see during an NFL telecast this past season was for DraftKings or FanDuel or anything else?
Wait a minute. This NFL suspension brought to you by DraftKings.
Use offer code Ridley to get 15% off your next bet. And look, I'm not trying to shit on advertisers. Look, we've got an advertiser now. Hi, Knack. But still, like exactly. Is this exactly? Is this what we think? Look, either you're going to be hypocrites or not. They would just rather have their cake and eat it too.
I need to say one thing here, and this is what I don't understand. I'm going to bring this back a long, long ways to even before when we were born, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Yes. So if Ridley was only suspended for a year for gambling on games, how do you explain Pete Rose?
And the next baseball player that gets suspended for gambling, and I guarantee you that there's someone out there who's doing the exact same thing. If that happens, then Pete Rose should march his ass down to league offices in New York and say, this is bullshit.
They're involved. They have a deal with DraftKings and FanDuel, Major League Baseball.
That's exactly my point. That it's more than a tad hypocritical.
But players supposedly are not allowed to bet within their own sport.
They're not. Well, first of all, if they can't bet within their own sport, they shouldn't bet on anything. That should be the rule.
Well, okay. Well, hang on. Let me play devil's advocate. Would we be feeling this way if all of a sudden Ridley was betting on his team to lose?
I don't want him betting on his team to win or lose. I think that's wrong. You're affecting the outcome.
No matter what it is.
Okay, but that's the thing. Ridley was caught betting on his team to win, but still.
Because people are coming out and saying, "Oh, he bet on his team to win, so he's giving him somewhere." I don't care. You're affecting the outcome of the game by betting on your team.
Well, remember, he also wasn't playing. He also wasn't playing for most of 2021.
Yeah, but Pete Rose was managing from the dugout, and he was betting on his games. He wasn't technically playing.
He was actively involved in the game, though.
I understand, but he wasn't technically playing. Same thing.
But still, the ethics of it.
No, I understand what you're saying, Tom. I absolutely do.
It's just this thing is ridiculous. I mean, if they really wanted to make a big deal out of this, they should have suspended him for a few years. Either suspend him for a few years or don't.
Well, I was going to say, also remember the NFL tends to what have we talked about with suspensions? That the NFL isn't exactly as stringent as, say, Major League Baseball.
No, they're thinking about this.
Lest we invoke the specter of Roger Two Checks Goodell.
Damn it! This is every time I hear Roger Goodell,
I'm just making sure that you're all aware that this is still the person that we're dealing with, right? He's still out there.
Wait. Who'd you say that it was again? Who?
Roger Two Checks Goodell.
You suck.
Exactly. Thank you, Stewie.
You suck.
And yet he's still. And yet there's a chance he's still 1 or 2 on the commissioner Jeff chart of likability.
Oh boy! If there's anything the past 100 days have taught us, there is a depth chart.
And by the way,
North American sports.
By the way, gambling. We have to come to grips that gambling is the new thing. We eventually.
Oh no, it's not going away. I mean,
the
amount of money they spent.
Once the Supreme Court made that decision in 2018, 2019, the hell gates got opened.
And by the way,
Pandora's box was opened.
Eventually, we are going to get to a place where this podcast network is going to be sponsored by a gambling company.
Well, let's hope. But the thing is, the difference is we are commenting on it. We're sports personalities.
No. But
we're trying to be.
Time out. What I'm getting to is that unfortunately everything is being sponsored by a gambling company or crypto.
So you're going to have to either do one or the other. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's where the money is. That's where the advertising money is. And if sports doesn't make rules, if these leagues don't make rules, you run into a situation where Calvin Ridley, who's sitting on the injured list, and first of all, it was kind of creepy when he came out and said, I'm sitting out due to mental health reasons. And then we find out that it's because he's gambling on 3, 5, and 18 parlays. That's why he's sitting out.
Gambling is a very stressful activity, so it could have been mental health issues.
Did you just say gambling was a stressful activity?
I mean, it definitely could be. I mean, I'm pretty sure he wasn't lying about the whole mental health issue thing, but still.
But he inflicted it on himself.
Understood. But again, I think we're conflating two separate issues here.
But so let me ask you. So because he did it to himself, he does deserve to be in trouble, right?
I mean, yeah, especially considering there is officially language that players cannot bet on even after this whole DraftKings and the gambling nonsense has been legalized, right?
We should just, you know what? We should just call it the universal Pete Rose rule at this point, because that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I mean, this is only in the big 4 sports. I mean, in the UFC, it was just last year we had a fighter basically bet on his own fight for him to win. He didn't go broke, but he lost. And
Dana's okay with that?
Yes.
There's no rules in the UFC. You didn't realize that?
Remember, things like UFC, independent contractors. There's no teams. I mean, there's fight camps and such, but it's an individual sport.
So they can pretty much do whatever they want, right?
It's a free-for-all in the UFC. No one cares.
Now, I say now, if it came out that a fighter was betting on himself to lose, then it's a whole other story.
Yeah, that turns into a battling Jack Murdoch.
Well, that becomes throwing. That's why they say you can't bet on your team to lose, because you could throw a match or you could throw a game.
Right.
Look at Tim Donaghy, and I know we're talking about a referee in the NBA, but
I think it's relevant.
No, it absolutely is relevant.
Because you're point shaving.
It could lead to more Tim Donaghys if you don't put specific codified language in the CBAs of the 4 major American sports. You're going to find, imagine the uproar, imagine the utter Class 4 shitstorm that would emerge if we found out that a referee was specifically betting against a specific team to lose and was throwing the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl.
Wait a minute. We lost the whole referee team due to the penalty calls this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly my point. Imagine the shitstorm that would happen.
I don't know. But speaking of large money in the sport, it's time to talk about a certain guy that you all know and love, and it starts with this.
RELAX.
So, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers say are never ever. Wait a minute. No, they are still together somehow. How is this still a thing?
So Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, well, okay, we have disputing reports that he's agreed to a 4-year deal and that he's the highest paid player in NFL history. But Aaron Rodgers himself tweeted out that he disputes the reported terms of a 4-year, $200 million contract.
Because that man just seems to have forgotten the entire
All right.
concept of shutting up.
Wait. Before we go there,
That's right. Come one, come all to the Frozen Circus in Lambeau. It is the circus known as the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, the star of the clown show, and his continued reports and disputes with management.
That's right. Step right up, test your IQ, and make sure that you are smarter than Aaron Rodgers. Because chances are you probably are.
make sure you're not cleaning up the elephant shit that Aaron Rodgers is leaving behind.
Okay, you want to prove you're smarter than Aaron Rodgers? Here's a question. Here is your trivia question. How many toes do you have on your feet?
What is the difference between vaccinated and immunized? Do you know the difference? Then you are smarter than Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I'm sorry,
ladies
Aaron.
and
You
gentlemen,
answered incorrectly.
Sorry, you forgot to make that in the form of a question.
I mean, he was going to. Now he wants to become the Tom Brady. He now that Tom Brady has hung up his cleats, he's 38 now, right?
Yes.
So that would take him to 42. So he would be the highest paid and oldest quarterback in the league, assuming that he rides the 4 years out to completion, which I'm not entirely sure that because like I said, I do think this contract solves some of the problems that he had with the Packers, not all of them.
No, it doesn't. I think this solves nothing. We don't know the terms of the deal. Aaron Rodgers is disputing it. By the way, I think this sounds like Brett Favre all over again with the Packers.
He has truly embraced his mentor of Brett Favre.
The student has become the master.
But the thing is, Aaron Rodgers has become this
I hate you. Get the out of here.
to everybody in the media.
Well, I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say to the Packers. I was gonna say, and then the next minute, oh, I love you. I can't wait to finish my career out with you.
What was that song that I hate you, I love you, whatever that song was called? I can't remember.
Are you referring to what I was mentioning? Taylor Swift's "We're Never Getting Back Together"?
Yes, exactly. By the way, I hate Taylor Swift as a person. I can't believe I even made that reference. But anyway.
I'm the one who started that reference.
No, but I'm saying I don't like her. I can't believe I even thought of that. But anyway.
Okay, breaking news, Taylor Swift's about to write a song about us.
I've already been blocked by Deshaun Watson. I'd take getting blocked by Taylor Swift.
Oh, he's coming up very soon. Don't worry about that.
We'll get to that. But still, just to put a bow on this, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're going to pay him a Brinks truck full of money. Whether it is the exact terms as has already been reported, or Aaron Rodgers is just blowing smoke up our asses, he's going to be paid a pretty penny.
You know what? I think they should say because he was immunized, they should pay him in Bitcoin.
They could pay him in Bitcoin, or you know what? You're the key to the locker that holds all the contract money is buried in this pile of COVID-19 vaccines. Dig your way through. Dig your way through, boy.
LAX.
And Nick is so tired of that drop.
I am so tired of that drop. Seriously, we got to get some new drops.
Yeah, okay. Come on. You have to admit, it's such a perfect way.
And every time I hear that goddamn voice, every time I hear that voice telling me to relax, it's basically like
it's reverse psychology.
No, you know what it is? Have you ever been this close to somebody farting in your ears? That's what that's like.
RELAX.
It stinks and it's loud enough to make you go deaf. So yeah.
We're gonna haunt Nick with Aaron Rodgers now, like I get haunted with LeBron James.
Oh God.
But
Nick, I swear, you both are gonna have nightmares. Nick Morganson is going to be every face around him is LeBron James's, and Nick Federis is going to be every face around him is Aaron Rodgers.
No, I was too busy.
It's okay. I could just sleep with a syringe next to my bed and he won't.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
He's gonna haunt Aaron Rodgers in his dreams, like we talked about with Kyrie. Come on, it's just a little shot.
Come on, it's just a little shot.
Wait. Nick and I did this on Beyond the Bench. Come on, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
No. You said I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna chase you with the vaccine.
He's being chased around with an oversized novelty.
That reminds me.
It's like the Early Odd Parents. That one.
Yes.
With a big...
Night. Night, freaky guy.
Oh, God.
All right. Speaking of night, Amari Cooper's tenure with the Dallas Cowboys. Earlier today, we have a report that he has been traded to the Cleveland Browns.
So they're making up for not having.
It's a salary dump. Let's put it simply.
It's a salary dump.
He's still getting his $20 million.
He's still getting his $20 million, and Jerry's probably on the hook for most of that. But still,
they get rid of some of that cap. And now, instead of Dak Prescott throwing to him, he gets Baker Mayfield.
So, upgrade, downgrade, sideways?
Downgrade. Very serious downgrade.
I mean, I like Baker Mayfield. Now they don't?
Well, I mean...
Well, first of all, Baker needs to get his shoulder back. Yeah,
his shoulder's all fucked.
Well, even though they keep saying, "Oh my God, his shoulder's back to normal. He got his surgery." Yeah, okay. Him and Jimmy Garoppolo can go join that same team together.
I was gonna say. Well, you kept throwing him on the field despite his fucked shoulder. So, if you throw something that's already fucked onto a gridiron where basically violence happens, you don't expect that it's going to get more fucked.
Well,
I mean, unless they're expecting something like the third act of the Karate Kid, where you can just have somebody just magically jam his shoulder back in.
Nick, I was going to steal a line from you. What can Brown do for you?
Not much, apparently. You can't unfuck a guy's shoulder, so.
Oh.
I mean, granted, guys. What have we already talked about? Cleveland is a run-first offense with Chubb and Hunt, but still. You're going to have to throw the ball somewhat. And I mean, if Amari Cooper, I guess he's going to be the wide receiver one now because OBJ is gone. And, well, honestly, it looks like Jarvis Landry is on his way out with how bad he and Cleveland are fighting.
It looks bad. And Landry requested a trade now.
Yes. Well, Landry and Cleveland have been.
This team is fucked in a lot of ways.
And I've got a feeling, unless Baker has a serious turnaround, they're going to get rid of him after. They're not going to re-sign him.
It's over. It's way over in Cleveland.
Oh God!
Might as well
I did not want this to happen, but it happened all the same, and I'm
might
as
well just lure Chubb out there in the trade land.
It's almost criminal what's going on with the Browns.
Yeah. After what they did in 2020, just what happened this last season is depressing.
By the way, speaking of criminal, if you want to go
God.
Back, that was the whole point.
Hey,
I mean,
wait,
as far as transition goes, it's actually appropriate.
Wait, Nick Morganson, you can't be part of this segment. You're blocked.
Yeah. So yeah.
By the way, this is so ridiculous that he's not facing any criminal charges. And by the way, Tony Busby, you can go suck you know what at this point.
I mean,
okay. You're blocked. Yeah. Wait, what don't you understand about your blocked?
Yeah, take the hint.
Hey, you guys are blocked technically too from the ETV Sports account, so we're all blocked.
Exactly.
Not on my personal. None of my personal.
Hey, this is a show that's done through our show account.
It's pretty obvious.
You're double blocked, my friend.
So I don't know what you're complaining about, but still.
Okay, so again,
we left this saga, he he was still facing a grand jury testimony. Now
they have elected to not charge him on any of the 22 accounts.
Now,
Well,
mind you,
wait.
Criminally.
Criminally. Is sealed.
No. That's not even what I was going to say. The lawsuits were dropped. I don't know about the criminal charges. There were 10 separate criminal lawsuits that were brought that were not.
He will not face charges. The lawsuits, the 22
criminal
lawsuits,
charges.
he's still on the hook for that.
Right. So he's still on the hook. He's got to go on trial for those.
For the
So
the civil side.
It's civil court, not criminal.
And by the way, this whole thing,
Look at all the failure.
because this whole court system is messed up.
This whole court system is messed up. And if you're gonna get away with something like that, it helps if you're rich.
Well, let's clarify. Now, this is just like the Bauer situation that the league is still investigating, and the league, even if he's not charged criminally or civilly, can still suspend him as a way to say, well, you made us go through all this shit. What this does by him not facing criminal charges is now the situation with the Texans and potential suitors. Everything's a little more easier. Now it's a little, not a lot, but a little bit easier for potential.
He's not out of the woods yet.
He's not out of the woods yet, but I don't think that it makes things a bit easier.
Out of the woods.
Yeah. As long as he's not going to be in jail, you're going to have teams take chances on him.
Right, because now Johnny actually, from Game On, which is actually going to debut Tuesday. Can't wait for that. Johnny Montalbano basically, he didn't report, but he shared a report that all of a sudden now Carolina is making an aggressive pursuit for Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I mean, this was to be expected. I mean, I don't think any of us out of the three of us thought that he was actually going to face charges for this, even though he kind of should have.
I have one more report. I have one more report to share, and it's not really breaking news, but your dads are going to be really upset when I read this next report.
Oh no!
No!
The Vikings are in on Deshaun Watson.
Oh my god!
So that would be really a good news, bad news.
I actually wouldn't.
Father.
I was gonna say I actually don't think they would be too upset. I mean, they go from Kirk Cousins to Deshaun Watson, which I actually feel bad for saying because Kirk Cousins this last season actually had probably the best season.
Look, Kirk Cousins and my dad are mortal enemies at this point. So the good news is, Dad, Kirk Cousins might be gone. The bad news is, look who they're replacing him with.
You may be getting a guy who may be suspended for half the season, if not all of the season, to start.
But to go back to what I was saying before, it's pretty obvious that he wasn't going to face criminal. I don't think any of us thought that he was
the way the lawsuit was going and the way everything was silent.
Any jail time, even though he probably should have. But the justice system in this country, they hate women and they hate black women too. So even more. So there's really nothing you could have done from that point, and we can't even see the evidence that they were looking at because the grand jury testimony is sealed.
No, we can go thank Rusty Hard-On for all this.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to do this. He keeps getting me blocked, but
FBI, open up!
Wait, well, yeah, but still, that's entirely the point, isn't it?
Well, I'm just Deshaun Watson. First of all, the reason he blocked us, the reason he blocked me, the reason he blocked the Houston Chronicle, the reason he's blocking the whole media, because he doesn't want to admit the fact that he did something wrong.
I mean, he'll still get suspended. It's just he'll get traded right after.
Just so you know, saying nothing is worse than saying something. We know this.
We know it, but apparently the people in charge making the decisions, they don't know it. That's the problem.
Well, because he has handlers that handle his social media. I know that all too well from working with a certain somebody in the media business.
Moving on.
All right.
Oh, God.
Carson Wentz is now the quarterback in Washington. Ha 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 ha.
Is anybody happy about this?
No.
Where has
this is nothing.
Where has he been the last couple of years?
The Colts.
So he's been with the Colts, and
They lost to the Jaguars in the first round of the playoffs.
remember when Nick Foles was the answer? And now
Wait a minute. Not first round of the playoffs. The last game of the season, which forced them out of the playoffs. There we go.
Yeah.
So you're going from a situation that is essentially bad to worse.
Essentially. I mean, by the way, the Colts made out like bandits, getting 2 third-round picks.
Hey, I'd make that deal.
I mean, I don't know what the Commanders were thinking. They just thought they need to name a quarterback. We'll throw anybody at quarterback at this point. We'll throw Tim Tebow at quarterback if we could.
They just wanted to say, hey, new team name, new quarterback.
Not that Carson Wentz is really anything. By the way, he's back in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Oh,
new
God.
look, new identity, new quarterback. Same old shit.
Everything is new.
Watch, that's going to be so great when he goes back to Philadelphia.
Except the suck. You know, the fact that the team sucked, it kind of tends to transcend team names. You can paper over it all you want, but you can't deny that's what you are.
The problem is it's a perfect name for a team for Carson Wentz because even though they're called Commanders, he doesn't take half the shots that he should take.
I mean, if I just want to see him in one of those dopey 3-star commander uniforms with a dumb-looking hat. he's just playing. All right, I'm going over the game plan, sir. That's actually a game of Battleship. E7 hit.
All right. Brittney Griner.
Oh, good. I've been waiting for this one.
All right, so Brittney Griner, WNBA star, was arrested in Russia for carrying hash oil in a vape pen. And the fact that she got arrested in Russia is kind of a big problem when you consider, I don't know how the world is right now.
Now,
our current geopolitical situation vis-a-vis Russia and Ukraine. And I mean, all kidding aside here, this is pretty serious that she is in, and now that she is apparently still in Russia, imprisoned in Russia. But here's what I'd like to know.
Well, wait a minute. We don't know if she's imprisoned in Russia. We just know she's detained.
She's detained again, but that could take a bunch of different meanings in this case. Now, the last I heard about it, the State Department was still trying to secure her release. The State Department, of course, led by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. So, here's what I'd like to know. Now, I know why she was in Russia.
I can explain the whole situation why she's in Russia.
I know why she was in Russia at the time, but I have to ask: Did the WNBA really think it was a good idea to make sure their players went to even before the invasion? It's not like the geopolitical situation was exactly calming down.
Nick, you need to realize something between the WNBA, the NBA, or any other sport. The WNBA players make 10 times less than what NBA athletes make.
And that is a goddamn tragedy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Had a conversation last week with the Liberty and the hundreds of $1,000 they had to pay because of Joe Tsai.
That fucked up situation where they're not allowed their owners to privately charter. They're willing to put money into the WNBA, and they got fined for it.
And the fact that Brittney Griner, one of the most visible stars, and probably one of the most talented, one of the most visible WNBA stars, is literally maybe detained in Russia. It should be enough for the WNBA to shit itself in terror.
Wait a second. First of all, Brittney Griner was wrong, first of all, for carrying drugs over into another country.
She shouldn't have been there. First of all, she should have been making enough money where she didn't have to play in Russia.
Nick, you just started my point. That's what I was going to say. When you're making 10 times less than an NBA athlete can make, that's why they have to go to foreign countries where they're paying 3 times more for them to compete. That's why they're doing that.
And that's my entire point. She shouldn't have been there in the first place because she shouldn't have had to go there. That's my point.
But that's the problem. And this all goes back to, and I think I've learned who one of the bigger clown show commissioners are at all sports. It's Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner. Okay. She's the biggest clown show there is because she keeps coming out and saying, we can't get a sponsor for flying our athletes around on a charter. We can't get sponsors for anything. We can't pay our athletes. They're clown shows.
Which you guys are billionaires, so really, don't come to me with the pity party. Don't come to me with the pity party, courtesy of the Nickel and Dime Express. I really don't want to hear it.
Uh-oh, I think Tom froze again. He was so shocked he froze.
At a certain point, it's just it's sickening that we have allowed greed. You know what? If there is a common theme to this episode, what we've done so far, it's that greed is bad. I know it's simple, and I know it's kind of reductive, but greed is bad. This is what has gotten us here.
There we go. Can you hear us, Tom?
The WNBA doesn't want to pony up for its own players, so they don't have to go to countries where the geopolitical situation can literally put their lives in danger.
It makes no sense.
You wouldn't see the NFL doing this. You wouldn't even see the Arena Football League doing this shit.
We would have learned this lesson when what was it, like 4 years ago, when a certain member of the Ball family got locked up in China for stealing sunglasses,
and they had to go to the Trump administration for I remember that.
But wait a minute. It's different because it's the NBA, not the WNBA. If it was the WNBA, they would have left her there.
Here's hoping they don't. You know what? That's all I can say.
First of all, Kathy Engelbert had no business being the commissioner of the WNBA. She doesn't even come from that background.
I mean, when you're the commissioner of any sport, you kind of fail upwards. Even if you're an owner of a sport, you kind of fail upwards. And
I know this is all going to come back because when this goes out and people are going to see the clips, and people are going to say, oh, I hate whatever. I hate the WNBA. I don't hate the WNBA. I actually like the WNBA. I like the product they put out. They're airing more on ESPN platforms than ever. And I think that's a good thing.
It is.
But they're not getting enough money. And that's why Brittney Griner and other stars are going to Russia. They're going to Europe. They're going to places that are dangerous because they need to make a living.
But the owners can pony it up, but they won't because, again, greed.
I told you 60% of the teams are owned by NBA franchises.
So don't tell me you don't have the money. You do.
All right, let's move on.
Very quickly. Last thing. We're way over time. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. Joe Buck is joining Troy Aikman. He is leaving Fox for ESPN. One quick thought.
Not surprised.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, they're still going to be annoying me. They're just going to be annoying me to the dulcet tones of the Monday Night Football theme.
I mean,
that's all they're doing. That's all that changed.
I mean, and he got less money, by the way, for ESPN over Fox, which makes no sense.
We asked what meant more to him. Joining up with his buddy over at ESPN on a big stage like Monday Night Football, or staying with Fox and staying with the World Series. But
also, goodbye baseball. Goodbye baseball.
What the hell is Fox going to do now?
I mean, Alex is there.
Well, by the way, they're talking about moving Burkhart up to the duo spot now.
Right now, the A squad for football on NFL right now is Burkhart and like Greg Olson.
Yes, it is because they were the number 2 team. Can you imagine Greg Olson being the primetime guy?
No.
So, and then who's with John Smoltz for World Series coverage?
They're saying Burkhart might become the dual guy that Buck was.
Oh, okay.
At a certain point, folks, Fox really doesn't have another plan for this, do they? They don't really have a defensive talent like they said they did.
Wait a minute. There's one more thing as well. They have the Super Bowl 2 out of the next 3 years.
Exactly. So what are you going to do? Put Colin Cowherd in the booth?
No, you know what's going to happen? Fox is gonna the people at Fox are gonna go make a call to Vince. They're gonna say, "Hey, you know what? How about we get Michael Cole and Pat McAfee to commentate this stuff?"
You know what?
You're telling me you wouldn't have Pat McAfee as part of Super Bowl coverage if you're.
I absolutely would have. You know what? My dream would have had to be Mean Gene Okerlund calling a Super Bowl.
But I don't know.
Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heaton calling the Super Bowl.
Wait a minute. And what about Al Michaels in all this?
What happens to him? Because
he's up in limbo right now. We don't know.
They're talking about Amazon, him and Herb Street.
Which, oh my God! If you watch college football on Saturdays, you know Kirk Herbstreit, and oh my God, you thought Joe Buck was annoying.
It is what it is, but for some reason there is so much money going around in the broadcasting game right now. It's sick. It's sick.
All right, guys, just a couple of stories here before we get going. Update on Landry, by the way, we were talking about Landry. Report the Browns have granted Jarvis Landry to permission to seek a trade.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
That is now official, and let's go to the rumor spectrum. So let's go to the rumor social media spectrum for a second.
Oh, good.
Jalen Hurts' account has mysteriously deleted the Eagles quarterback portion of his bio.
Oh God, we're starting this all over again.
Oops. Trade speculation. That's it, but it's not a holdout. Supposedly, trade speculation is starting to heat up on Jalen Hurts.
You know what?
I hate you. Get the out of here.
Are you serious? Are we doing this again? Kyler Murray?
I never said Kyler Murray. I just said
No, I'm saying it's Kyler Murray syndrome. Like,
but Jalen Hurts isn't disputing with the Eagles. The Eagles, for some reason, just think, hey, Jalen is not the guy. Even after the couple of flashes he's shown last season. The NFC least, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God.
I can't figure this out anymore.
Big thank you to NAC for sponsoring us. Here's to a great journey ahead. Remember, if you want convenience with your travels and you want to be stylish while doing so, NAC bags are perfect for you. Whether you're an everyday worker, whether you like to travel a lot, whether you have a lot of electronics or just books, no matter your lifestyle, it is a great, stylish looking bag. Whatever your lifestyle, it adapts to it. Patent pending, hidden expandable carry-on bag. You can carry this, you can wear it however you want. You can do the carry. You can do the roll back look.
Here, so I've actually tested that.
Yeah, I put some water bottles in here.
I put books and papers and my laptop all in here. Everything fits perfect. It's great. It's convenient. Guys, NAC bags are for you no matter who you are. And remember, go to NAC bags and use the promo code BENCH to get a free NAC TSA approved lock of your order for a limited time. Make sure you order the lock, which is going to be about normally it's a $15 purchase, but it's free for you. Yeah. As long as you use the promo code BENCH, it is free for you.
It's a free offer. We don't give free offers very often here.
It's free. Why wouldn't you like it? Now all of a sudden, now it's not just our opinions are free.
Where's Vince McMahon? It's free, damn it!
Buy it. It's free.
Vince McMahon is not the kind who would give something away.
He would not give it away for free. But seeing as how Mr. Albano is frozen again.
Wow, that's a perfect way to end as it started. Oh God. All right, so for Tom Albano, for Nick Federa, I'm Nick Morganson. For episode 125 of Empty the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network, presented by NAC. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.